What's up, guys? So, just dyed this ruck and a few other components with Rit Dye Camel, and OMG is all I can say. This is such a jumble of different shades of everything. I've got, you know, I've got some nice tans. I've got more coyote browns. I've got, on the inside it's completely red. Um, This, even on the outside, starts to turn a little reddish, which is terrible. Not what I wanted. I'll see what it looks like once it's dry. I'm hoping that it's a bit more of a rusty brown or something like that. Uh, and I've got some greens, even some light greens. But this, on the other hand, here, as you can see, like green on the inside here, and then just brown. So I don't know if this was a complete success, I'd have to say, guys. But it's that's the thing. I already knew that it could be a little bit weird, but the webbing as well. Instead of turning green like it did in the past, it turned brown. So we're gonna have to see how that looks. In the end, I also added almost a full bottle of apple green, just because there was so much material. I felt like there wasn't enough dye, and I was hoping to at least give the webbing some kind of tinge of green, like this one right here. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. This one was done in apple green, but then and it was a bit like light yellow. This just turned light yellow, and the webbing turned green. But then I decided to dip it in the camel mixture, and now it's more of a coyote brown on the white parts, and even the green has been a bit more muted. Um, Whereas the other pouch, which I threw back in the bath just to give it a little extra time, simply because it was a little lighter than this other pouch. The webbing turned brown. So again, once this dries out, we'll see what happens. The Blackhawk IFAC, this, because it was used, it took the dye almost immediately, and it is also touch of reds, can you see there, but nothing too bad. At a distance it still looks like something that should be able to blend in the woods. If not, guys, I might have to redo this whole thing with apple green, now that I've given like a base of tan slash coyote. Look on the bottom here, took the dye a lot more than on other parts. Like, look at the sustainment pouches this time around. They didn't take the dye as much as I thought they would, and once again, one took the dye more than the other. One is more like coyote brown, the other is tan, which is in fact, I might throw this one back in as well for a little bit longer. But basically, I just kept stirring and stirring and stirring, and I had to keep stirring because, as you can see, these striations, this is where the pouch, folded together, and, unfortunately, there's just so much material that some of the stuff just gets crunched in there, and you just have to keep stirring and, pressing it down and taking it out. And so, it was a bit of a process, I have to say, guys. Also, I had to dye the suspension system initially by itself because it was quite bulky. It took up like half of the tub that I'm using to dye all this stuff, and then take them out and then use uh, the other components. And what can I say? Again, here it looks like it's green, like light green and mossy green versus dark gray now, I think, and more of a coyote brown. But the snow color turned out a real nice olive drab, which is really nice, strangely enough. But as you can see on the inside, this is a nice shade of like dark red. So, what can I say, guys? I'm just hoping that uh, this looks a bit better once it's dry and fully assembled. But as you can see, I'm really hoping to use pouches and UCP this time around. Um, that obviously have been dyed, but I really want the camouflage to shine through, um, as opposed to accessorizing it with different color, or blocky uh, blocky colored pouches, which would take away from the camouflage. But everything pretty much turned out relatively well. I was expecting, as I mentioned, because the webbing turned green on in some parts, like here it did, which is weird. Look at this. This turned green. And then you have where was it? Where was it? No. Well, oh right, the other pouch. Let me quickly take you to the other pouch that I'm still dying in there. So it's a little bit, the water is now pretty much lukewarm. So I'm just trying to give it some extra bit of time, and it is helping. It is helping. It is darkening it a little, just because that's the thing, guys. If there's one tip that I can give you, is just keep stirring it, take the pouches out, assess, just how well they have been dyed, because sometimes they'll take the dye and they've missed a spot or something like that. So keep messing with the pouches is all I can say, and that really helps. But as you can see, the webbing turned brown here, fully brown. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to dip this quickly in apple green at some stage or other. Like, I might have to redo this whole dye with a really light, quick dip of apple green, just to get the webbing really, you know, um, to turn into a nice, like, ranger green or olive drab. I'm not really a fan of dark brown, um, but it's still miles better than the standard UCP, as far as I'm concerned, at least for now. But yeah, it's looking good now. Now the pouch is actually a little bit darker. So there's still, even lukewarm water, you can basically, it's still working. The dye is still taking. So as you can see, I'm just dipping it, dipping it every which way, and that's all I'm really doing here, guys. Is just yeah, trying to get like the most uniform um as possible. But other than that, I'm just gonna have to hope and see what it looks like, once this is dry. Like, this might turn out to be a really bright yellow, and I don't want that. I might throw this back in as well. Matter of fact, even this, guess this is all right. Just these couple pouches, and then yeah, I've already rinsed them, but I'll probably rinse them again. And what can I say, guys? I'm just documenting the process, because every time, I do this, I learn something new. Um, it's always, there's always a potential for a major mess up. Um, and I really didn't want, I'm really hoping that this turns out nicer, at least a bit more uniform once it's fully dry. We'll see. We'll see. But it would be a shame to ruin this pack, because it's the newest pack I have, and all these components. I've pretty much come up with a configuration for the pouches that I don't want to change, and it should look good. So once this is fully pimped out, you'll see what the end result will be. What can I say, guys? Thanks for hearing me ramble about packs and about this project. I'll let you know, once this dries, what it looks like, and we'll take it from there. We'll see if I have to redo another quick bath of apple green, just to mainly get the grays, just to get the grays and the webbing turning to a nice ranger green, or OD would be better than brown. Not such a fan of that. But generally speaking, I'd say this experiment went fairly well. I'm going to say fairly well, Wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting a bit more uniform, results, but as you can see, just difference in color and such. uh, what can I say? We'll see once this dries up. So let me stop rambling, and yeah, stay posted, guys, if you want to see how this turned out. Thanks for watching.